Hello friends, welcome to Collage Class. This is episode number 8. Today's theme is tea bags and texture. So, I hope that you have a tea bag that you used. It should be nice and dry and crunchy. If it's not dry, we can get it to dry out really quick. So if you need to go ahead and prep a tea bag, go ahead and do that. And then I'll show you how we'll empty it. And then you can set it aside and let it dry while you watch the rest of me talking about this perhaps. They're really thin, so it should dry pretty quickly for you. So we want a tea bag, and then we want some texture. And I thought it would be cool if you had a piece of burlap or something like is in these. All right, so can you see this graded material here? That's just some sort of piece of material. I'm not even sure what it is. It's like burlap, but it's more of a, it's not metal, but it's not made of this sort of thing. But anyway, it's got a similar feel to it. It's finer in texture though, I will say that. And then we have this. This is quite a bit larger, but you can see that it's definitely got some texture to it. You can see here we use tea bag and then the little part that you dip the tea with. On here we don't have a tea bag, but we do have tissue paper. So if you don't have tea, that's okay. If you have some tissue paper, that'll work as well. And then I wanted to show this one to you. This one's got part of the tea bag here and here in the corner, and then we've just torn up some vellum map, some really good texture here, and some old paper. It was actually an old letter. So, and then of course a photograph. So this one has a photograph. This one is a book page, but it's a picture of a young man. And then this one is a Tim Holtz person. So if you've got an old photo or a book page that has a person or a magazine that has a face or a Tim Holtz person, you can use that. If you don't want to use a person for your, I can't think of the word, but let's just say your main attraction, that's okay. Use whatever you want. You don't have to copy what I'm doing. Of course, this is just about me sharing and then you coming up with your own thing, okay? So what I did for today is, like I said, I've got my burlap, I've got my tea bag. You could also grab a piece of music paper if you'd like, book page if you'd like. I do have this, don't know if I'm going to use it. This is a book page and it's got an image of a house on it. I thought it could be good. It might not work, but it might. We'll see. Then I have this old picture that I had cut out of a book a long time ago. So that's possible to use that. I also have this. This is a piece of ephemera. It's an advertisement for Cote River. So I thought that could be fun. And you can see it's a new piece of paper from 2019 to 2020. It was from the West Pasco Historical Society, and I grabbed it because I like this picture that was on here. So we might end up using that. That might be a bit more fun than her. She looks pretty serious. Then I actually grabbed napkin. So if you don't have tissue paper and you don't have a tea bag, you can always use a napkin. Napkins are super fun to collage with and super easy to collage with. So that's what we have for our supplies today. Go ahead and gather your stuff. Oh wait, I left one out. We've got a feather. Might not use it, but it's textural, so I figured I'd grab it just in case the mood struck to use it. All right, gather your items and we'll get started. I used to work for a company and we set the cards for the minted card company, and these would just go in the trash because they didn't need them once they were, not needing to be used anymore. So I grabbed some. They're nice and thick. I mean, it's a very nice thick board. So this is what I'm going to do my collage on today. And I just wanted to explain sort of what I was working with. You can start on a piece of paper, any paper that you want. You can start on a piece of cardstock. You can start on one of the pieces. Remember last week we used half of this. So you can start on one of the backgrounds that we've made. That's completely up to you. what you want to start on. You could simply start on a book page if you wanted to. So just go ahead and make sure you get your base, and let's get it prepped. Before we start prepping anything, I want to go ahead and get this tea bag prepped. So we're just going to easily disassemble it. This one's been sewn together. Sometimes they're stapled together. If it's stapled, just take that apart. And if it's sewn, just unfold it here. And then we should be able to pull this out. I might need to, yeah, I'm gonna snip the little rope with my scissors. There we go. Okay, we're gonna keep this part because I think this makes a really nice additional piece if you wanna use it. Then we're gonna take this and start to unfold it. Now you'll notice that each end will open, and you can go ahead and pour your tea out of it. Now, if you have a problem and it tears, just go with it. Just keep trying to open it up. You could use scissors to cut the top off if you needed to, but I think that I might want to embrace the tears today just for the extra texture and whatnot. So that's what I'm doing. Now you can see the other end is open and already leaking out. So let me grab my trash can. And we're just going to go ahead and pour this in here. Oh, there we go. Look, it unfolded for me, so that made it so much easier. Try to get, you know, all the little bits and pieces off of there so that you're just working with the paper. Okay, so it should look something like this. It might be a little bit bigger. It might be smaller, but I doubt it. And it might be more colorful than mine, but mine does have enough on it to have fun playing with it. Okay, it's just about the texture. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. If yours is wet because you just had to make it, that's okay. Go ahead and set it aside. Go ahead and grab your base, and let's get our base covered. So here's what I need to decide. Am I covering mine with book page, or am I covering it with napkin? And maybe I want to cover it with napkin just to make sure that it's completely covered. We'll still be able to see the words under there, but that always makes it more interesting, so that doesn't matter at all. So when you're working with napkin, and if you haven't done that before, make sure, typically there are 3 layers of napkin. First layer usually comes off pretty easy. The second layer, sometimes you really have to work at it. So you can use 2 pieces of tape, one on each side, and it'll pull those layers apart, and then you can just pull them with your hands. This one I had already done, so it's ready to go for me. And napkin and glue stick work really nicely together. You can use decoupage, and if you do, I recommend using less. Like lighter is better, or Mod Podge is, you know, basically what I'm saying. So go light, go like an inch at a time with that, because if you go light, it'll dry quickly. But you'll get a much better result if you're not oversaturating your paper with the Mod Podge. When we're done getting this on here, we'll check the edges and make sure we got them all the way. It's so easy to miss the right up on the edge here, you know. Don't worry about wrinkles. Today is about texture, so I welcome wrinkles. All right, now we're just going to go around the edges and make sure we got them. See, we got a little bit here. And we'll make sure we just get some glue on there and press that down. Tiny bit here. Don't be afraid to pull the napkin back if you have to. Be careful, you don't want to rip it, but you can pull that back usually. Let's do this side, and then we'll do the bottom. This side looks really good. Okay, got to get the corner here. Trying not to get it on my table, but I did just get some on there. But you can always lay a piece of parchment paper, wax paper down if you wanted to. It does come up with water, so it's no big deal. There we go. Okay. All right, so we got our napkin on. I just really wanted to get a cover on my base. Now what we're going to do is we can tear this away or we can cut it away. I think I'll try to tear it though. All right, my friends, our base is covered. You could have used anything that you wanted. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to get something down. I wasn't even really being particular about it. So again, tissue paper, napkin, or book page or music paper, anything, or scrapbook paper, whatever you want. Okay, now let's try to start to formulate our actual project here. So let's grab these. I'm thinking one of these is going to be the focal point, and I'm really leaning towards these ladies. So let's move her over here, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to fussy cut or semi-fussy cut these ladies out. It's just fun. They're just fun, and so I think with what I have, the pieces that I've chosen, I think these ladies are going to work the best on here. I don't think I'm going to use the rest of this, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here at the water line. Maybe I'll leave that for interest. I could, well, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to cut that right along that line because it's nice and straight. And then we can get rid of these pieces. And then we'll start playing with the layout. All right, so we've got this piece that we may or may not use. We got this piece that we're definitely using. We have our burlap. So our burlap can go right over top of our napkin. I might cut it down smaller. I don't know yet. We're just playing right now. I actually have this. You guys know it's been on my desk for a while, so we could put this on here if we want to. Let's try it on under here. I mean, so it's kind of cool actually under there, or we could do it over top. So we'll have it handy. And then what about the house? I don't know. Let's get our girls on here and the house might not work. Let me cut it out. No, don't like it there. I think I'd prefer to use it in something else. I love the image. I just don't think it's going to work for us today, and that is quite all right. So let's get this back over here. Should we make this smaller? I don't know. Maybe we should. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's trim along this line right here. And maybe just take a little bit of this off. Okay. All right, now let's play a little bit more. Let's get our girls on here. They definitely need something else behind them. But what is it going to be? I don't know. Well, that's where our tea bag can come in. So let's say we've got this down. And I might rough up the edges, but for now we're just going to put it down here. And now we're ready for a focal point. And we could have, let's see, we could put this up here. That looks cute. And then we could do this down here. Kind of have the string. I like that the string is on it. We can flip it over if we want to. I don't know which one we like better, but anyway, we'll put it here. Okay. And then what? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of looking good. Like, I don't know if we need anything else. So let's start with this. And then if we feel like we want to add something, we will. But I'm kind of liking this. Okay, that came together nicely. Sometimes you just have to play with the images. So we're going to take these off. And we're going to get this glued down now. Having a little problem with my glue, so I just had to get it out on the page. I'm just going to spread it with this little spatula. Sometimes when your glue gets low, we do have a little problem with it. And that's okay. If you don't have a spatula, you can use your fingers. It's just not a problem. So just so that you know that. And hopefully I have enough on here for this to stick. Okay. I like that it's not a perfect rectangle, but if you need yours to be a perfect rectangle, that's perfectly okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and get our tea bag on here, and the top is ripped nicely, which I like. Let me see if I can do some ripping to some of the other areas. Now, you don't have to rip yours, of course. I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get glue down on my burlap and see if I can squish this into it. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Yeah, it's sticking nicely. It's okay if not all of it sticks down. That's quite all right. You can have some edges sticking up. It's kind of interesting. Okay, now let's get this piece down. We know we want this piece up here. So we're going to go ahead and just glue that on. What if I should ink around the edges real quick? Let's go ahead and do that. The paper's not very porous. That ink might not dry on it very nicely, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. It really honestly doesn't matter even if it smudges. Now we're going to go ahead and get these ladies down. I wonder if I should put anything under them. No, maybe we'll try to put something over them. All right, so I've got the rest of my little tea bag here, and I think I'd like to age this up a little bit. So I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to put this down, and I'm just going to press this into my tea. I'm sorry, not my tea. I'm going to press it into my ink pad just to get a little color on it. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to set it down on here. Let's decide where we would like to see it. We could do it here at the bottom and have the string go up, and that's probably what I'm going to do. All right, and then before I do that, I'm going to press this on this book page because I know that that ink is not dry. Okay, that's better. Might even... There we go. There, I think I like that better. Just trying to get the wet ink off of there so I can work with this. All right, let me see if I can get this string into these lines of glue that I put on there. All right, this is coming along really nicely. I think it's ready for finishing touches now. So this has been on my desk. And the color red goes perfectly with this up here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this down here, like this, right here. And I'm doing it there because I'd like to see the burlap. And I don't mind it coming over this edge here. Let's do that. We can see the burlap, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this over top of it. What do you think about that? Does that make this side too heavy? It does make it a little heavy, doesn't it? What if I put it over here? I have to think about that. I definitely want this here, though, I think. I'd like to kind of evens it out, but then maybe this is too big. Maybe I need a word. Hold on, let me grab some stuff. All right, my friends, now what we're going to do is we are going to glue this fabric down. It would be very cool to sew it down, and that's definitely an option if you have a sewing machine. But I want to do this for, not everybody has one, so I want to do it in such a way that anybody can participate and be successful. So my Fabri-Tac is driving me out of my mind. But that's how it is when it gets to the end of the tube. All right, so we're going to put the fabric down. And then I went through my words, my Tim Holtz words, which I found at the thrift store, by the way. And I found one that says shine brightly, which could go here, and it fits beautifully. And this one says choose to shine, and this could go here too, and I think fits equally as well. So let's see which one we like better. I'm gonna go shine brightly, and that's gonna go right there in the center of that fabric. Now I just want to make sure that that doesn't move, so I'm just gonna clamp that down with a little clothespin. I wonder if I can get one over here on this end. Yes, perfect. So that's going to hold that down till that dries in place. I'm just pushing it with my fingers right here also. There we go. Okay, now I need to bring a little weight up here, so let's think about that for a minute. All right, my friends, I've got these two flowers, and I think if I fit them together like this, or something like that, and then I've got this one here, and this one can kind of go down the page a little bit. What do you think? What do you think about me putting that there? I think it balances everything out really nicely. I don't think it makes it too top heavy, and I say let's go for it. So since I want to, this one's probably going to be on the top. Let's glue this one down first. And I'm not going to press it down just yet, not until I get this one in place, and then I'll do that because I just don't want to mess up my placement. I'm glad I didn't press that down because it wasn't even in the right spot. But we've got it now. And it's funny because the napkin leaves are right here and it works really nicely, I think. All right, I'm going to remove these. And I'm just going to make sure that this is pressed down one more time. Now, if your stuff starts to curl, you'll notice, let me look, let me show you, So you see how there's a little curl in that? Well, you can, at night, just lay it down like this and just put a little book over top or something like that, and it'll fix that overnight, it's no problem. So here is our completed collage. Let me show you the ones that I showed you in the beginning, and you can see the similarities and the differences. We'll put these here. No, she doesn't fit, but anyway, there she is. So you can see how all of these have their own unique style, and that's something that I hope that you are working on developing, is your own unique style. So my friends, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this. Feel free to post your makes on Creating with Jovi Journals and Crafts Facebook group. It's a private group. And I'd love to see what you're making during this course. I hope you're enjoying the course. Let me know if you have any feedback or if there's certain things you'd like to see. Next week, we're going to do funky backgrounds. So make sure that you have on hand some thick paper, whether it's cardstock or mixed media paper or watercolor paper, something like that. And also, we're going to use some modeling paste. And hold on, let me show that to you. You can get molding or modeling paste. I went to Hobby Lobby and they didn't have the molding paste, but they had the modeling paste. So I'm going to be using this. But either one I think you can use. We'll experiment and have fun and check it out. So make sure you get a little bit of that on hand. And if you can't, don't worry, you can still do a collage. This is just to introduce some other materials for you and help you get used to using some things that maybe you have not used before. But if you don't have it, really you don't have to worry about it, okay? But we are going to do it. But you can just work with something else. It doesn't matter. And then next week, along with our modeling paste, we're going to be using some paint, and we're going to make some unique backgrounds with our paint, and then over top of that we'll be doing our collaging. And this we might do on top of that, or we might do that on separate paper and then combine them. So we'll see how that goes. We'll just experiment and have a good time. I'm so glad that you are here. I hope you're having a good time. Thanks for watching. See you soon.